On today's episode of Crystal Uncorked, we are going to talk about a very important word, which is vulnerability. This word has been coming up a lot for me over this year. I mean, there's been a lot of different things that have been happening, and I'm seeing the power of being vulnerable and having the willingness to show emotion and be open. And to be honest, I have been very nervous to kind of go further myself and had a lot of resistance as I was creating content yesterday. And, but I am pushing through that, which is exactly what I hope others will do too, because it really creates meaningful connection and content when we are vulnerable. So let's talk about it. Let's dive in.
Are you ready to open up and talk about all things business? I'm Crystal Vilkaitis, a curious entrepreneur who loves talking about business, especially over a glass of wine. I started Crystal Uncorked to share open and honest conversations about my journey and talk to other entrepreneurs about their experiences. We pull back the curtain and talk about the highs and the lows. Wine isn't required, but is recommended. This is Crystal Uncorked.
I don't have my wine today. I'm filming in the morning. It's such a nice fall morning here. And it's actually Dustin's birthday as I'm filming this. And I've got a nice cup of decaf coffee this morning. So cheers. I usually have like a cup of regular coffee and then I will do a decaf coffee later in the morning or in the afternoon, unless it's a really need some energy. Then I'll have another caffeinated coffee, but love my decaf. Okay. So the word vulnerability, a few things have happened, like I mentioned in the intro, that vulnerability just keeps coming up for me and is just like right in front of my face. And so I know that I'm not alone in struggling with being more open and just feeling comfortable in doing that. And so I wanted to share, and it is definitely my hopes that you will reach out to me and share a situation where you were vulnerable, you opened up, and what happened. And did you make it out alive? I bet you did. I made it out alive with my stories that I'll share. There so much of the fear can really hold us back, and then we actually just go for it. And often what happens is things that we couldn't have even imagined, like results that we couldn't have even imagined when we push ourselves, forward and through that fear. So, the first thing that happened to me when I've been crying a lot lately, like in front of important people. And that is so not me. Like I have maybe a couple of good cries a couple times a year. But rarely am I really like crying in public or to friends or anything like that. However, I like uncontrollably cry when I watch award shows. I just get so choked up and so happy for people. And I won't even know like who the actor is or have watched the show, but I just can't control it. Like I just like I get so choked up and cry. But otherwise, like it's not really a normal thing for me. And in May, I went to this great conference called Unfair Advantage Live with Chris Winfield and Jen Gottlieb. And I joined their mastermind and I'm loving it. And this conference was about PR and press, and like marketing, and there was mindset stuff. But like really at the end of the day, it's about being seen. It's about putting yourself out there. And, they had us start the conference with writing down, like, what do we want? Like they got us in a really great state and we, visualize like, what is it that we want to achieve? If we were to come back in a year and share like, oh my gosh, these amazing things happen. Like, what is it that we want? And for me in that moment, I wrote down wanting a TV show. And it's something I've always wanted to do. I've wanted to host a show. I have a lot of different ideas, but that's just something since I was 17 I've wanted to do. And so this was a 3-day conference. As I'm learning, like, you're being pushed. It's kind of uncomfortable, but I'm definitely like getting inspiration and I'm feeling more in line with like what I want to do and the steps forward that I need to take. And on the third day, somebody came up to me that works with the group, the event coordinators, and she was a coach. And she's like, "Hey, Jen and Chris want to do a hot seat for you on stage. Are you up for that?" And I'm like, I wanted to say no so badly because I didn't even really know what my question would be. I kind of felt like I was in flux a little bit. Like I've been training my team to teach social media, to delegate that, off of my plate. So I can talk about some other topics and make more room for this show. And, but I like kind of in flux. So I don't really know what I need to ask. But I just said yes. There was something inside of me that was like, you have to ask them a question. Like you have to get on that stage and ask a question. You're getting free coaching. So, oh my gosh, then I'm like so nervous, right? For like 2 hours until I go on stage. I'm like, what am I going to ask? What am I going to ask? And a million thoughts go through my head. And I'm like, you know what? I'm usually very planned out. Like I know I'm very specific. I know what I need to do. And I was kind of like, gosh, I think I'm just going to get up there and see what comes out of my mouth. I just was like trusting the whole process. I went into that event being like, I'm not really sure why I'm here, but I'm here. And I'm not really sure where I'm going exactly, but I'm just here. Like I was just so in flow and just trusting everything. So I get on stage and there's about like 120 people in the room. And I sit down and introduce who I am. And it's kind of a blur, but I was like, I just feel like, I've been doing this. I've had this successful social media business that I've had for 10 years. And I'm really being pulled to do something in addition to that. But all I've ever done is social media. So like, how could I do anything else? And I hear somebody in the crowd go, like feeling it, like, and then out of nowhere, I'm like, I just want to be a star. And I just start crying. Like my face is uncontrollably twitching. And I look down and like people are just like so supportive in the audience. And I'm like having to really pull it together. And all this is like being filmed. I'm like mortified that I'm crying on the stage. And what the fuck? I'm like, I just want to be a star. Like I just was not expecting any of that. And so we totally went into coaching and they had such great feedback for me. Like, they talked about Byron Katie, about like questions to ask yourself, like, is it true? Is it really true? So they pushed me like, is it true that all you're good at is social media education? And I'm like, no, like just really pushing me to kind of help me get to a place of believing in myself and really like having the courage to step into the vision of what I see for myself really is what happened and having me claim that. And so it was really great coaching, really great. I get off the stage and I feel like so mortified. I like don't want to look at people in the eye. I just want to like sit down at my seat. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I fucking cried at a business conference. Like, but I was so shocked what happened. So many people came up to me, like were hugging me along the way as I was getting to my chair. People were coming over and giving me their card and they're like, hey, I've totally dealt with that before. I'd love to talk to you. Or, hey, I help people like you. Or, hey, thank you. Like at breaks, people would just be coming up to me and saying, thank you so much for being vulnerable. I struggle in a similar way. It all of a sudden opened this door for these more honest and meaningful conversations with people. Where this was the third day. So I had 2 days prior and it was like your normal, what do you do? Oh, cool. Oh, who do you serve? Like your normal networking questions. But all of a sudden people were telling me stories of things that they have been through and their fears and their struggles and like hugging and just, man, it was just so much more meaningful. And so I felt really supported. I also felt like really exhausted. I was just emotionally so tapped after just like being open and just saying something that I was really struggling with. I've really struggled with the fact that I'm pulled to talk about other topics around confidence and burnout, any transformation. And, but like, who am I to talk about other things? I've been social media for 10 years, more than 10 years. Will anybody trust me? And all the head trash that you go through. And so I've really been struggling with that. So to say it out loud and to get some coaching and be vulnerable was exhausting. Okay. You fast forward and I started working with a therapist in June, which has been life changing for me. I wish I started working with a therapist earlier. The past 5 years for me specifically have been really challenging with my business. I have struggled really badly with burnout. And if you don't know this about burnout, symptoms can look very similar to depression. And so there was a period where I thought I was depressed. There were days that was hard to get out of bed. There were days where I felt trapped. I felt lost. I felt just so unhappy, and I didn't know how to fix it. And on the outside looking in, nobody knew that was happening. I had my close circle of people that knew what was going on with me, but on the outside, you'd have no idea those things were happening. And so I got therapy finally, and I wish I did it sooner because it's just really helped me break through and heal and get clarity. And I can see again, what it is I want, where I am going. But, I had a company meeting with the Crystal Media team a few weeks ago, and I wanted to share with them, hey guys, I've been going through a lot over the past 5 years, and I'm going to talk more about it on my show. And I wanted to tell you guys first, and just kind of shared what I just shared with you. That past 5 years were really hard. I went through a lot, but I am in therapy. I've had a lot of breakthroughs. I'm ready to talk about it. Well, unexpectedly, I start crying on my company call. So we're all on Zoom with my team, and I'm supposed to be the fearless leader. And I just get choked up. I'm talking about how Pauline actually recommended that I see a therapist and sent me some links to help me find a therapist. And she was so supportive during this time, which was very challenging for her because I am also her boss. I was struggling really with what am I doing with my life, and just so lost and confused professionally. So that was, hard. She works for me. But she was also a really good friend to me. So I'm talking in the company meeting about this stuff, and I just start crying, and I'm just really trying to hold it together, and I'm crying, and I'm ugh. And then, I just kind of go from very open and vulnerable to, okay, now here's I see Crystal Media 2.0 and Crystal 2.0. And I just kind of went right into the vision and kind of kept talking for a while. And then I stopped, and I'm any questions, comments, whatever. And people are kind of quiet. And then someone on my team did speak up, and he shared such a great, just such great feedback to me of thanking me for being vulnerable. And he said, it is so incredibly hard. These aren't his exact words, but he said it's so incredibly hard to be vulnerable and show up, especially when you're a leader, because you're supposed to be, on top and inspiring, and, you're not supposed to have emotions. And at least that's what we tell ourselves, right? And that's what we think. But what are you doing?
Hey, Mavis.
Hi.
Are you mad at me? You're talking about vulnerability?
Yeah, why are you?
What I got you something, Mavis.
Are you serious? Oh my God, are you serious right now? Is this happening?
Yeah.
It's happening?
Yeah.
On your birthday? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Do you want to get married?
Oh my God. Yeah.
You ready?
Are you sure it's been enough time?
Yeah, it's been enough. Now you can share with everybody.
Oh my God. What's happening? Oh my God, honey. Oh my God, it's our client. Oh my God. Oh my God, you have to put it on me. Oh my God, what is happening? Oh my God, speaking of crying, you're shaking. I'm shaking. Holy shit, this is so beautiful. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Is it cool?
Oh my God, it is stunning. Oh my God, we're getting married?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I feel like I'm dreaming. This
And now you can
doesn't
share
feel
it with the
real.
world.
Oh my God, you got
Don't
it on
edit.
camera. Oh my God, how am I going to finish this
I
episode?
don't know.
Oh my God, we have to tell people.
I'm telling everybody.
Oh my God, we're telling everybody. I'm engaged. Oh my God, I'm
I'm
engaged.
vulnerable.
You are. Oh my God.
Do your thing.
I am shaking so bad. Oh my God, this is going to have to be like, I'm going to have to just part 2 this one. I cannot continue. This is incredible. How amazing. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, okay. And my people got to witness. Okay, we're going to cut. I am so happy right now. Oh my God, this is incredible. All right. I will see you for part 2 next week. Have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.